darkened in colour now. They're beginning to take more notice of their surroundings too. The fresh bedding contains interesting smells from outside. When a
kind and steady heart can make a grey sky blue.
The pig wins the day again. Now, if you've got digital, there's about 20 minutes of Animadness left on the CBBC channel. Then at 5, it's Stitch Up TV. It's a Christmas special with loads of celebrities. It's very good. And we've got another movie for you here on BBC One. Family Games in The Parent Trap at 5:30.
It may not seem like very much right now, but it'll do. It'll do. When you find yourself in the middle of a storm and you're tired and cold and wet, and you're looking for a place that's cozy and warm, you make it if you never forget. A kind and steady heart can conquer doubt and fear. A little courage goes a long, long way, gets you a little bit further down the road each day. And before you know it, you'll hear someone say, that'll do, hey, that'll do. Kind and steady heart is sure to see you through.
Thank you for staying till the end. Bye-bye.
It's coming.
Now you can get 8 BBC channels, including world cinema and exclusive drama.
You can already get these new BBC channels with others on cable and satellite, but now you can also get them on Freeview, a new package of 30 channels.
You can get Freeview by plugging an adapter into your TV. It costs around £99, one-off payment, no contract.
Television, it's evolving.
For your free guide, call 08700 10 10 10.
It's Boxing Day on BBC One.
I'm sorry to have to inform you that James Mitchell died yesterday.
Congratulations, you're pregnant. Can't be.
The death of Sir Charles Baskerville was no fairy tale, Mr. Holmes.
What am I doing? I don't know where.
It's all to come tonight here on BBC One.
Good afternoon, Boxing Day, big day on the football calendar. Time for Final Score. And hope Christmas is going very well for you. Mark Lawrenson is here as the Premiership gets into the second half of its season, and there's some very crucial games being played this afternoon. Kick-offs varied from lunchtime, a lot of games underway as we speak. First of all, let's get right up to date with how the champions and the Premiership leaders fared this afternoon away at the Hawthorns. That was West Bromwich Albion against Arsenal. Ian Payne.
Well, Arsenal have won by 2-1. It was just the sort of game that champions win as well. The match started explosively. West Brom got a corner in the second minute, and Daniel Di Chio powered in a header past David Seaman. Arsenal then began to exert their customary control as West Brom retreated. The home side did hold out until half-time, but just 2 minutes after the restart, a through ball deflected off a West Brom defender's legs and fell to Francis Jeffers, and he scored his first Premiership goal of the season in what was his first Premiership start, in fact. West Brom had 2 more good efforts, another set piece headed over the bar, and then a mazy, muscular-type dribble from the always impressive Jason Roberts, ending in a shot which bounced away off the inside of the post. Arsenal, though, won the game when Albion's Adam Chambers' clearance rebounded straight back and past him, and Thierry Henry nipped in to make it 2-1 to the league leaders.
Let's very quickly go to Sunderland because a significant goal could be scored. Sunderland against Leeds. Steve Sutton, what's happening?
Yes, indeed, Ray. Leeds have just taken the lead 2-1 thanks to a Robbie Fowler penalty on 79 minutes. Fowler had only been on the pitch a couple of minutes after what everyone will no doubt claim was an inspired substitution by Terry Venables. He took Viduka off, brought Fowler on. Fowler rushed into the box past to Kuehl. Kuehl was brought down by Proctor. Fowler took the penalty kick and he trickled it into the corner. 2-1 to Leeds, and I have to say that's very much against the run of play.
And it's a big day for James Milner, the young Yorkshire lad, 16 years of age, who got the first goal for Leeds United in that game this afternoon. Let's go to Anfield because the situation doesn't seem to be easing any. Liverpool 2 points in the last 21. Damian Johnson's at Anfield today.
Yeah, it's 1-1, the least Blackburn Rovers deserve. Liverpool took a 17th minute lead through John Arne Riise, a deflected shot past Brad Friedel, but they've never been comfortable. Blackburn have been on top most of this second half. A few minutes ago, a dipping right foot volley from Andy Cole found the top corner. Cole earlier has twice squandered good openings, but his goal more than made amends, a real cracker. Anfield old boy David Thompson has been a thorn in Liverpool's side, getting in crosses from the right and engaged in a running feud with Jimmy Traore. El Hadji Diouf has just been thrown on to try and chase the game for Liverpool, but Blackburn are chasing a winner too. It's 1-1.
A significant goal for Manchester City. We can see Ali Benarbia at Main Road this afternoon. City having lost at home to Spurs at the weekend, and Aston Villa no away win so far this season. They could be losing 3 more points this afternoon. The significant thing for them will be exactly what the point difference is at the difference. I'm just hearing that Wayne Rooney has been sent off this afternoon at St Andrews. Everton's new star Wayne Rooney, we're hearing he's been sent off at St Andrews in a game that is 1-1 so far. First of all, just picking up on that Liverpool situation, what is happening at your old club?
Well, a couple of weeks ago people were describing it as a crisis, which was thought maybe a little bit harsh, but it's certainly turned into that now. Very difficult for the moment, Ray. There's no confidence whatsoever. They don't even seem to be creating any chances. If you were Michael Owen in that team, you're being fed on scraps at the moment. And they're conceding, which used to be their strength. So they are in crisis, yes.
Let's go to St Andrews, one of the big stories of the day. Wayne Rooney's made such an impact in the Premiership. A red card, we understand. Steve Mail, give us all the details.
Yeah, it happened just a few minutes or so ago, Ray. Wayne Rooney got a straight red after a very late two-footed tackle on Steve Vickers, the Birmingham City club captain, who's still off the pitch as I speak. So both sides at the moment down to 10 men. It's 1-1, and I don't know whether any of your statisticians can shed any light on this, but both scorers have already been substituted. Both goals, in fact, coming in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Everton going ahead after a fairly low-key first 44 minutes as Birmingham's offside trap backfired and Thomas Rosinski put away Thomas Graveson's through ball. But then 90 seconds later, Birmingham equalised. The unmarked Jovan Kurowski headed in a left-wing cross, but both those players have now been substituted. But as I say, the big news here is that Wayne Rooney got a straight red after a very late two-footed tackle on Steve Vickers. I just wonder whether he's been, taking to heart that example set by Steve Gerrard on Sunday at the Merseyside derby. But Wayne Rooney's got his marching orders. He's off. The score here, though, 1-1.
Well, they haven't seen the challenge, but there's nothing funny about either challenge. Earlier is the Steven Gerrard and a red card for Wayne Rooney. It just shows, I guess, sometimes that the spotlight that these players are under. They're hot-headed, they're young, lack of experience. These things can happen.
I would suggest exuberance of youth as much as anything, Ray. If it's a double-footed tackle and it's late, then there's, you've got to be sent off. But it will be part of his experience and part of his learning experience. And now you can understand why David Moyes is taking his time into kind of blooding him in the team and taking him out. And obviously, he may need now a couple of weeks just out of the spotlight. In fact, he'll get it, of course, with a suspension.
It just shows the cauldron that is the Premiership at the moment, and every camera and every eye is on you. Let's go to Main Road now, because Manchester Manchester City would seem are going to take 3 points this afternoon. Gerald Sinstadt.
At 3-1 up, and Aston Villa without an away win in the Premiership all season. I think that's a reasonable bet now, Ray. Kevin Keegan's midfield is now giving him the kind of problems that he would absolutely welcome. He had come out earlier in the season and said that he couldn't really see Bernabia and Berkovic playing in the same midfield. Well, he's been rethinking that a bit and letting them have part of a game together. So Bernabia came on Monday against Spurs and scored a goal. He came on here today, hit the bar, and then scored with a diving header. On either side of that, Foe had scored twice. That's 4 goals from him in 3 games after the rest of the season had been blank. So in midfield, Keegan's cup runneth over. As for Villa, things are not so happy. They've only really looked promising when they've worked through Barry and Samuel down the left, and it was Samuel getting to the goal line and cutting the ball back that gave Dublin his goal. But at 3-1, City are really in charge.
Well, at the moment, it looks like it's going to be Arsenal's day because Manchester United are being held at Middlesbrough. We've heard that Liverpool aren't getting things their own way at Anfield against Blackburn. Everton drawing and having Wayne Rooney sent off at Birmingham. And Chelsea couldn't take advantage against Southampton at the Bridge, a match watched by Mark Bright.
Chelsea 0, Southampton 0. Chelsea missed a golden opportunity to go top of the Premier League today and take advantage of their early kick-off. Claudio Ranieri made 6 changes from the team that beat Aston Villa last week, so it wasn't any surprise that his team lacked cohesion. Chelsea should have taken the lead in the 12th minute when a pinpoint cross from Jim Floyd Hasselbank picked out Gianfranco Zola, but amazingly his shot was saved by Antti Niemi. Southampton looked solid, passed the ball better and played the more attractive football in the first half. A through ball by Tessem gave Roy Delap their first sight of goal, but Delap's shot was weak and De Goey saved with ease. In the second half, Chelsea played a lot better, nowhere near the sort of form that's seen them go second in the league. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was clean through in the 81st minute, but delayed his shot and fired across an empty goal. Southampton on a good unbeaten run at the moment, and in time added on, we had a scene straight from the Keystone Cops movie. A corner by Chelsea led to John Terry firing his shot against Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. It returned to him. He fired again against Hasselbank. It returned to Desailly, and somehow he poked it over from 6 yards. Southampton were good for their point, and it finished Chelsea 0, Southampton 0.
The day is going Arsenal's way to Middlesbrough now. There's been a goal in the match against Manchester United. David Hurst.
Yes, there has indeed, and it's gone to Middlesbrough. Alan Boksic has given Borough the lead just before half-time. A through ball from the Manchester United old boy, Jonathan Greening, split the United defence, and Boksic was there to chip the ball over Fabian Barthez to give Borough the lead. It was against the run of play, really, because United have had a lot of this first half. They've created the better of the opportunities up to that goal. Ryan Giggs has seen a lot of the ball on the left-hand side, and his shot was charged down early on by the Borough defence when Wes Brown teed him up in the penalty area. John O'Shea was allowed to run from inside his own half at one stage, and he brought a superb save out of Mark Schwarzer. Roy Keane's in the United midfield for the first time, for his first start in 4 months, but United up against it here. They're 1-0 down.
Just off the top of the video print, you can see that Celtic have beaten Hearts by 4 goals to 2, and that could be incredibly significant because Rangers were losing at bottom club Motherwell, and it's full-time confirmed there. Motherwell, who beat Celtic in September, have now beaten the leaders Rangers this afternoon by 1-0. So Rangers' 4-point lead is now cut to a point. Middlesbrough found goals hard to come by, but at home their unbeaten record looks like it's going to remain intact. And Manchester United, they're on track, they're off track. They've got Roy Keane back in the side today. Yeah. This is one of the most exciting premierships ever.
Well, I think we've seen already, just halfway stage, that 3 or 4 different teams have taken the lead in the Premiership. I think we've seen a very, very significant result today, which is Arsenal winning at West Brom. Didn't play particularly well. They did create chances. They had loads of possession. It looked, for everybody concerned, it was going to be a 1-1 and a very well-earned point for West Brom. But those are the games, Ray, that you have to go and win to win the championships. And to be fair to Arsenal, they've come up trumps.
3 points for Tranmere Rovers away at Huddersfield this afternoon, and Rovers move towards the playoffs, have improved of late. No Christmas cheer for West Ham United. They drew again today at home to Fulham, but bottom of the table, they really were looking for their first home win of the season. They didn't get it, and here's some reaction from the Hammers dressing room.
David, you go into those games obviously wanting to win, in fact needing to win. How do you rationalise that result 1-1?
I think it's fair. It's not that good for us. As you say, we need 3 points desperately, and we need to put the unwinning home form to bed. But it's going to continue now till the next game, and the frustration continues.
Well, just recently, Tony, we've actually, some of our performances have been good enough to win games. We haven't.
but we've played well enough to win games. Today I thought there was there were periods where we were playing tense, which you have to say is also understandable. We just so badly need that win to give the players some more confidence.
West Ham had 4 or 5 good chances to score in the first half. Could have been up at half-time.
Maybe should have been, as you say, but unfortunately things aren't quite going for us. I mean, we're persevering, which is a good thing. One of the main positives today will be the fact that we've come back from goal down, and as many of the fans who have been here all season will say that usually the first goal against us is the winner, and as I say, we showed a lot of perseverance today, and it's going to keep us in good stead.
You keep telling the players to believe in what they're doing. Keep making sure that that we press hard, we win tackles. Important things like that get the crowd on your side, which we need to do.
Well, that's 2 home games and 2 draws. In effect, it's 4 dropped points. How do you feel about that?
Well, considering home form beforehand, that's 2 game points.
You can see the First Division leaders Portsmouth have been held again now. That's their 4th draw on the run. Top of the table, got a good cushion in the automatic promotion places, but 4 draws on the run now. Liverpool still drawing 1-1 with Blackburn. Birmingham 1-1 with Everton. Wayne Rooney sent off. Hearing that it's full time at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Blackburn 1. Manchester United, it's half-time at the Riverside Stadium now. Middlesbrough, with their unbeaten home record, have the lead through Alan Boksic, 1-0. Arsenal winners at West Bromwich Albion. Chelsea couldn't take advantage, 0-0 at the Bridge against Southampton. To Anfield, no goals, not much cheer, I would imagine, for Liverpool fans. Damian Johnson reporting.
Yeah, they're departing to a few boos around Anfield tonight. Just 3 points from 24 for Liverpool, not exactly championship form. They never really looked the part this afternoon. 43,000 came expecting goals. This fixture traditionally serves up a few, but just 2 today, honours even at 1-1. Liverpool scored early after 17 minutes. John Arne Riise's deflected shot flew past the impressive Brad Friedel. But Liverpool backed off and allowed Blackburn to play, and play they did. Andy Cole had 2 good chances, but missed the target twice, blasting over after Egil Ostenstadt's muscular run in the box. But his goal was sumptuous, a right-foot volley dipping into the top corner. Owen Huppier and Barros went close late on as they played 3 up front for Liverpool. But it's 1-1 here, and it's doom and gloom at Christmas.
Yeah, it's quite right. Liverpool fans, they're just getting frustrated now, aren't they? Because you would have everyone has a bad run, but they should have been sort of crashing out of it by now.
Albert tells me this is the worst run Liverpool have had since season 53-54, so that's how bad it is. Bearing in mind the next game as well is Arsenal away. How big a fixture is that for them? I think one of the problems that Liverpool do have as well at the moment, as well as the extreme lack of confidence, is people say that Houllier doesn't know which his best team is. And if you're not playing particularly well, you need confidence. You sort of got to play your best team every week, which again is another problem for them.
That's a welcome win for Sheffield Wednesday in this Boxing Day, beating Nottingham Forest by 2-0 at Hillsborough. A first one, I think, for their manager Chris Turner. Still a lot of work to do, but Sheffield Wednesday making progress. And for Forest, that is 4 away defeats on the bounce now. They're in 3rd place, trying to make ground of the automatic promotion places, but not doing it with their away form. Arsenal, the champions and the leaders, won at West Bromwich Albion this afternoon. Let's come reaction from the Arsenal dressing room and from Giovanni van Bronckhorst.
Those are the sort of games that they're hard to win, but very satisfying when you do.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, to get 1-0 down, I think within 5 minutes, is a huge blow. I think we didn't begin the game very good, but after 10 minutes, we were pushing for the equalizer, and the first half it didn't happen. But we came out of the dressing room quite confident, and within minutes we were level, and it was just waiting for the second goal.
This is a hard place to come to, isn't it? To get
yeah,
3
it
points.
is. I mean, it's a great atmosphere. The crowd was fantastic, the home support and our support. But we wanted here to get the 3 points, and it was very hard for us to get that, but overall, I think we're very happy to get the result we have.
Well, there are plenty of headlines going around this Boxing Day. In the Premiership, Birmingham 1, Everton 1. Wayne Rooney sent off. Wayne Rooney sent off at Everton this afternoon. Liverpool 1, Blackburn 1. No real Christmas cheer for Liverpool so far. Manchester United down at half-time at Middlesbrough. Chelsea 0, Southampton 0. As we've heard, Arsenal winning this afternoon at West Bromwich Albion. A bit of a cracker for Bolton fans this afternoon. They beat Newcastle, a match watched by Alan Biggs.
Bolton may come out to 6-3-3 squadron, but they're not exactly used to calling the shots. This, though, was a fly-past of a match, so enjoyable and deserving something similar by way of a salute. Sam Allardyce, Bolton's manager, went for broke after one win in 15 matches. He recalled striker Michael Ricketts in place of a midfielder, Kevin Nolan, and simply aimed to outgun Newcastle. The result was 2 goals for Ricketts, who now has 3 in 2 matches, and a thrilling victory. There were mistakes, of course, at both ends, particularly from Newcastle, but the finishing was exceptional. First, JJ Okocha from 20 yards, then Ricardo Gardner from 25 with a lovely curling free kick. With Alan Shearer replying in between, it was 2-1 and only 9 minutes on the clock. Ricketts majestically headed Bolton's third and then sprinted clear from Speed's wayward pass, 4-1 after an hour. Even Bolton couldn't surrender this. Well, they tried. Amiobi's deflection and Shearer's 25-yard rocket gave the Reebok its customary cliffhanger, but Bolton deservedly clung on.
That's a huge win for Leeds United this afternoon away at Sunderland, which gives them now a 6-point cushion from the relegation places. They won, they drew, now they've won again away at Sunderland this afternoon. That is a very important victory for Leeds United. Let's go to St Andrews now. Birmingham won, Everton won. But Steve May, the story will all be about Wayne Rooney sending off. What exactly happened?
Well, right now, the music, Merry Christmas everyone, from Slade has just finished. I don't think it's going to be a particularly Merry Christmas for Wayne Rooney, because this match was brought to life, dare I say it, by the sending off of substitute Rooney, who'd been on the pitch less than 15 minutes for a late tackle on Steve Vickers. I think Vickers had easily got to the ball first. He was just tidying up the ball, getting it back to his goalkeeper. Rooney went in, and David Ellery, who was just 15 yards or so from the tackle, showed Rooney a straight red. Vickers went off, and in fact the match finished 10 against 10 because Birmingham had used all their substitutes. Before that, it was all pretty low-key stuff, with both goals coming in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Everton went ahead after Birmingham's offside trap backfired and Thomas Rosinski put away the ball, but 90 seconds later Birmingham equalised, the unmarked Jovan Kurowski equalising.
Hull fans will be delighted on Boxing Day. That's a great victory for them at home to the leaders Hartlepool, but it's the first game in the new Kingston's Communication Stadium, the first league game this afternoon. Congratulations to Hull fans, 3 points this afternoon. Right, let's just catch up now and see the details of that Leeds United victory at Sunderland this afternoon. It's a great win for Leeds, but it also put Sunderland in a little bit of trouble. Steve Sutton watched the game.
Yes, indeed it does, and it was settled by a masterstroke pulled by Terry Venables. 76 minutes gone. Sunderland virtually camped in Leeds' goal mouth. He takes off Mark Viduka, puts on Robbie Fowler. 2 minutes later, Harry Kuehl charges into the Sunderland box, goes down under a challenge off Michael Proctor. Penalty. Up stepped Fowler and trickled the ball into the corner of the net. Sunderland had taken a first-half lead through Proctor. Heading in off the underside of the bar, James Milner got his first-ever Leeds goal to equalise on 49. Then Sunderland ripped into the Leeds side. Kevin Phillips, on another day, could have had 3 or 4. Then came Venables' tactical switch. Christmas smiles on Leeds, but Boxing Day blues for Howard Wilkinson.
5 wins in 2002 for Sunderland home fans. 5 home wins at the Stadium of Light. Division 1 now. Christmas cheer definitely for Sheffield Wednesday, having beaten Forest by a couple of goals to 0. Andrew James.
Yes, the form book well and truly cast asunder here, bottom of the table on Christmas Day, and without a win for 10 games, Wednesday have found new hope, it seems. For more than half an hour, they were poor and obviously short on confidence. Seabon shot wide, Proudlock headed wide, and Tony Crane hit the woodwork. But once Seabon headed home Haslam's free kick 2 minutes from half-time, Wednesday never looked back. Poor defending by Forest allowed on loan Alan Johnson to turn home a second Wednesday goal just 8 minutes into the second half, and thereafter it was Wednesday all the way, a real Christmas cracker for their long-suffering Hillsborough fans.
Also in Division 1, Carrow Road's been a fortress. Wasn't this afternoon. They're playing Brighton, who are improving under Steve Coppell. Rebecca Lowe reporting.
It's ended Norwich 0, Brighton 1. Brighton last won away from home on the first day of the season, and what a time to do it again. At the end of a largely forgettable first half, some sleepy Norwich defending let Steve Sidwell shoot home unmarked. The second half produced a better display from Norwich, Paul McVeigh and Ewan Roberts both coming close, but their best chance came from their best player of the afternoon, Mark Rivers, but his shot hit the bar. It was all Norwich in the closing minutes, but for all their pressure they just couldn't capitalise. Brighton fought hard for their win today. The Steve Coppell magic continues. It ended Norwich 0, Brighton 1.
And on Boxing Day, all the results are in. Time for the final scores, read by Tim Gudgeon.
In the Barclaycard Premiership, Birmingham City 1, Everton 1. Bolton Wanderers 4, Newcastle United 3. Chelsea 0, Southampton 0. Liverpool 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 1. Middlesbrough Manchester United didn't kick off until 4 o'clock. The half-time score is 1-0 to Middlesbrough. Sunderland 1, Leeds United 2. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Charlton Athletic 2. West Bromwich Albion 1, Arsenal 2. West Ham United 1, Fulham 1. The Nationwide Football League Division 1, Bradford City 4, Stoke City 2. Burnley 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Coventry City 2, Reading 0. Derby County 1, Grimsby Town 3. Leicester City and Ipswich Town kick off this evening. Millwall 2, Gillingham 2. Norwich City 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Portsmouth 1, Crystal Palace 1. Preston North End 0, Rotherham United 2. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Walsall 0, Sheffield United 1. Wimbledon 0, Watford 0. League Division 2, Bristol City 0, Plymouth Argyle 0. Cheltenham Town 0, Crewe Alexandra 4. Colchester United 1, Peterborough United 1. Huddersfield Town 1, Tranmere Rovers 2. Luton Town 2, Cardiff City 0. Mansfield Town 4, Stockport County 2. Northampton Town 0, Chesterfield 1. Notts County 3, Barnsley 2. Oldham Athletic 1, Blackpool 1. Port Vale 0, Wigan Athletic 1. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Wycombe Wanderers 1. Swindon Town 2, Brentford 1. League Division 3, Boston United 3, York City 0. Cambridge United 1, Southend United 1. Carlisle United 2, Darlington 2. Hull City 2, Hartlepool United 0. Kidderminster Harriers 3, Leyton Orient 2. Macclesfield Town 0, Lincoln City 1. Oxford United 3, Bournemouth 0. Rochdale 2, Wrexham 2. Scunthorpe United 0, Rushden and Diamonds 0. Shrewsbury Town 4, Bury 1. Swansea City 0, Bristol Rovers 1. Torquay United's match with Exeter City is postponed. The Nationwide Conference, Barnet 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. Farnborough Town 5, Woking 0. Forest Green 2, Yeovil Town 1. Gravesend and Northfleet, the match with Margate, is postponed. Kettering Town 1, Stevenage Borough 0. Lee RMI 0, Halifax Town 2. Morecambe 3, Southport 0. Northwich Victoria 1, Chester City 1. Nuneaton Borough 1, Burton Albion 2. Scarborough 2, Doncaster Rovers 5. Telford United 0, Hereford United 1. The Bank of Scotland Premier League, Celtic 4, Hearts 2. Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2. Dunfermline Athletic 0, Kilmarnock 2. Hibernian 1, Partick Thistle 1. Livingston 3, Dundee United 0. Motherwell 1, Rangers 0. The Welsh Premier, sponsored by JT Hughes, Mitsubishi, Bangor City 3, Carnarvon 1. Connors Quay and Rhyl match postponed. Flexis Cefn Druids 0, Oswestry Town 0. Haverford West 0, Carmarthen 2. Llanelli and Aberystwyth, their match was postponed. Newtown 0, Carsws 2. Port Talbot 0, Avon Lido 2. TNS Llansanfraid 2, Welshpool Town 0. And the Daily Mirror Irish League Premier Division, Crusaders 0, Cliftonville 0. Glenavon 0, Portadown 5. Institute 2, Ards 0. Linfield 1, Glentoran 1. Lisbon Distillery 2, Newry 1. And Omagh 0, Coleraine 3.
Paul's news on Boxing Day. On the coupons there are 12 score draws and 4 no score draws, which I'll give you as quickly as we can. 12 full-time score draws, 1, 4, 7, 9, 14 and 16. 23, 29, 34, 35, 40 and 47. 4 full-time no-score draws, 3, 20, 21 and 41. And also on the coupons, 8 half-time score draws, 17 half-time no-score draws. These are on CFAX page 312. Well, let's look at the Premiership. Arsenal have extended the lead at the top to 4 points after they came from behind to win at West Brom. Chelsea held home by Southampton. They did keep their 6th straight win clean sheet at Stamford Bridge. Let's quickly take a look at the bottom. West Ham remain rooted to the foot of the table after failing to win at home again. They were held by Fulham. West Brom slip a spot after that late loss to the Gunners. Let's look at Division 1. Leaders Portsmouth continue their search for a win at the top of the table despite becoming the first team in the English League to reach 50 goals this season. They drew with Palace today, their 4th in a row. The bottom, the win over Forest, not enough to do Sheffield Wednesday off the bottom, with Brighton just keeping their noses in front on goal difference, courtesy of their win at Norwich. Wigan have stretched their lead in Division 2 at the top to 4 to 7 points after beating Port Vale, their 7th straight win. Huddersfield fall to the bottom after losing to Tranmere. Cheltenham slip after that loss to Crewe this afternoon. Division 3, a goalless draw at Scunthorpe, enough to take Rushden and Diamond to the top of the division for the first time since they entered the league last season. And quickly at the bottom, Swansea dropped there after losing at home to the previous basement tenants, Bristol Rovers. And significant change today in Premier, but in the conference it's Yeovil who lead by Doncaster. And as far as the Scottish Premier is concerned, Rangers see their lead at the top cut to just 1 point after falling to their first league defeat of the season at the hands of lowly Motherwell. That's just about it. Significant result of the day was?
Oh, I think Arsenal obviously at the top of the league with Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton only drawing, Newcastle losing and Manchester United 1-0 down. I think obviously the bottom, as you just seen from the league tables, massive win for Bolton.
Thanks, Mark. Well done, Tony McCoy. Won the big race of the day. Another victory for the big jockey. Weekend after next, 64 clubs hoping it won't all go Pete Tong in the FA Cup. Goodbye.
The FA Cup is back, and this time it's bigger than ever. The third round is where the star names join the party, and this year's lineup is the best yet. Already scheduled to appear, Dave Seaman, Michael Owen, David Beckham, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer, and many, many more. Kickstart your weekend with Focus and Final Score. Then get ready for the first of 2 massive live games on the BBC. Join Gary and the team as Glenn Hoddle returns to his old club for Southampton versus Spurs. Later in the evening, we continue when Match of the Day returns to BBC One. Then on Sunday afternoon, Messrs Owen and Gerrard will be mixing it with the likes of Anelka and the legendary Peter Schmeichel as Man City take on Liverpool live from Main Road, Manchester. Can Kevin Keegan knock out the club where he was idolised? The FA Cup, live and loud on BBC One.
Radio Times contains full details of forthcoming BBC programmes, together with complete listings for all major free-to-air and other channels for the festive.
North Korea raises the stakes as it plays nuclear power games with the West. It defies the UN and moves a step closer to producing nuclear weapons. Thousands turn out for what could be the last traditional Boxing Day hunts. Henri bags a cracker to bring some Christmas cheer to the Gunners. Good afternoon. North Korea is playing a game of nuclear brinkmanship. That's how the United Nations today described the country's move to place 1,000 fresh fuel rods into a nuclear reactor. It produces the plutonium used in nuclear weapons. The UN described the development as very worrying. The reactor is at the centre of a diplomatic row with the United States after it accused North Korea of operating a secret nuclear weapons programme. Our World Affairs correspondent Alan Little has been following the day's events.
8 years ago, they agreed to shut it down. Now, piece by piece, they're putting it back together. 1,000 fresh fuel rods delivered to a plant that can produce a nuclear bomb. The North Koreans say they need the plant to generate electricity. The United States says that's nonsense, and the UN's nuclear watchdog says the material produced here has no civilian use.
Our biggest concern is what they do with the reprocessing facility, because it's this facility that produces plutonium, and in the North Korean fuel cycle currently they have no use for plutonium. no civilian use for plutonium, that is. So that's the big concern for us.
North Korea is the hermit state, secretive, Stalinist, cut off from the outside world. In 1994, it agreed to abandon its nuclear program in return for annual fuel supplies from the United States. But that agreement collapsed 2 months ago when Pyongyang admitted it had a secret nuclear program all along. In reopening Yongbyon, the hermit state is marching into a nuclear standoff with America.
It is in principle very dangerous. I mean, A, because North Korea is in breach of all its international obligations. B, they have been fingered by the United States as the axis of evil. So it's as if they are standing up brazenly and engaging in brinkmanship and saying, we're going to restart our reactor. What are you going to do about it?
North Korea says it wants dialogue, but the United States, with 40,000 troops in neighboring South Korea, says this is nuclear blackmail and it won't cave in. It has warned the North it is courting disaster. Alan Little, BBC News.
Our correspondent Matt Fry is in Washington. Matt, how much is this sabre rattling by North Korea, or how much is this a move to further production of nuclear weapons?
Merry Christmas, Fiona. I'm afraid this is not a very merry subject. It is not just sabre rattling. The North Koreans are quite serious about developing some nuclear capability. The CIA here think that within 4 months they could have enough plutonium for 5 nuclear weapons. They think that they already have 2.
No.
So this has to be taken very seriously. The question is why they're doing it. I don't think the North Koreans want to go to nuclear war with anyone. They want to be taken seriously. They want to be respected by the United States. And that is because the United States earlier this year declared them to be part of the infamous axis of evil. That, of course, also includes Iraq and Iran. This is quite a contrast to the previous administration because, of course, Madeleine Albright, who was the Secretary of State under President Clinton, actually visited North Korea and tried to open up that country further. So the North Koreans feel snubbed and they want to be taken seriously by the Americans, but this is not the way to go about it.
And Matt, the eyes of the world are focused on Iraq, as you were saying, but here's another front on the war against terror opening up on the other side of the world.
Well, the Americans have got an awful lot on their plate. There's the war on terrorism, of course, the ongoing search for Osama bin Laden and his cohorts. There is the possible war against Iraq, and now this confrontation with North Korea. For one, it shows up some inconsistencies in America's foreign policy, which many people in this city find rather alarming. In other words, why go to war with Iraq if you're trying to prove that they've got weapons of mass destruction, when the North Koreans have actually not just said that they've developed them, but they are developing them. They have got them, and they're an imminent threat of South Korea and even of Japan, the world's second largest economy. This is not the way to go about it. I think you could probably say that you can't have one foreign policy that fits all. In other words, you don't have to threaten everyone with war, and you can engage the North Koreans with dialogue, because at the end of the day, that's probably what they want. They want to be like China, politically repressive but open in their economy to the outside world. And so, whether they like it or not, the Americans have to talk to the North Koreans, even if that looks like bowing to blackmail.
OK, Matt, thank you very much indeed. The Liberal Democrats have warned the government against drifting into a war with Iraq. Their Foreign Affairs spokesman, Mingus Campbell, said that unless the United Nations was given proof that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, the international community would not support military action.
So I think there will inevitably be instability throughout the whole of the Middle East region. That's why we must explore every possible reasonable diplomatic and political alternative. Indeed, to be consistent with international law, the use of military force is only legitimate when you can demonstrate that you have explored and exhausted every other possible alternative option.
Tens of thousands of people have taken part in what could be the last traditional Boxing Day hunt meetings in England and Wales. The government's proposing new legislation which would limit hunting with hounds. Hunting with dogs has already been outlawed in Scotland. Anti-hunt demonstrators were also out in force. Their protests pass off peacefully.
To horns and cheers, the Bicester and Wadham chase began. Today, in the heart of the Buckinghamshire countryside, these sounds have extra resonance. It is, say hunters, a battle cry against government plans to limit hunting with dogs.
We're looking forward to legislation that is fair and workable, and we will operate within a lawful society, and we welcome any legislation that we can operate under.
Countryside sports will go forward, come what may. There will possibly be a rethink over the various ruling bodies of fox hunting, but fox hunting will go ahead.
Limiting the use of these hounds is what's being proposed under new legislation. If passed, hunters would have to prove